Alrighty, just got some food, handled up on whoa, I need a backup camera. Handled up on a business call, and now we're headed out to the house. Gonna go ahead, record a vlog while I'm at it. Got a couple of suggestions from a user. His name's Whitehorse50. I've actually talked to him quite a few times before. He gives some pretty good video suggestions, so this one's totally out of his. Oh, hello. Traffic. Also, always experimenting with angles, and I have a new mic set up, wireless mic right here, so you guys can see that. And I think it might be quite a bit better quality than what we've had before. Also have a white girl, white vanilla latte. Not a black vanilla, white vanilla. Got some speed bumps. Sorry, minivan behind me, I go slow. And air back out. Do a little freeway stuff, we're gonna do a little around town stuff, and we're gonna talk about, should you just go ahead and upgrade your MT82 or swap a T56 into your car? Because one, Whitehorse suggested it, and two, my buddy Alex, he just put a T56 into his car. He has a Cobra and he makes YouTube videos on it, but he always had issues with his transmission. I didn't like just cruising around next to everybody. But he's always had issues with his transmission being like notchy or something, so I would, you know, he went ahead and upgraded to a T56, which his car has a T56. This is just the Magnum XL. It's supposed to be like the God transmission, handle everything. It's a top loader, so it has very direct shifts. I mean, you could put an MGW in there, I'm sure, because the MGW fixes everything, which we'll talk about in a sec. That's kind of like the Band-Aid to fix everything. You can do it on the 5.0s. They just have a kit or something like that. It's expensive. It's like $4 grand, probably $5,500 all in whenever you add the clutch, drive shaft, shifter, all the bell housing accessories, like all the adapters and stuff, and then install if you don't really have a lift to do that. Because I would not do a transmission swap without a lift unless you just plan to hate your life. Should we go ahead and do that? Again, $5,500, $4 grand, because I'm sure that's like the true cost, right? Because not everybody gets sponsored parts, things like that. Or do you just Band-Aid and basically put in the correct sequence of parts? Are you trying to like get over or something? Because I can't see your blinker there, bud. Or put in this correct sequence of parts that'll help keep your MT82 alive. Oh, dang it. We got a semi truck that got all the way over on us. Well, that totally blows. It would have been a good little on-ramp. I'll still give it some beans whenever we can pass around them, but yeah, we're going 25 on a freeway on-ramp. Tight. A little bit of traffic. I think we'll be good actually after this. I don't know what I shifted at, but maybe like 6,500, third gear. Yeah, got around that semi truck pretty quick. These rumors about an MT82, right? Like, oh, it's a glass transmission. You can't really power shift it or put power through it, which, yeah, every transmission does have, its limitations. That's... Oh, got sweaty hands. Missed fifth. But see, I'm not a non-driving fool that tried to force that in there. I waited. Yeah, that's how hot it is. My hands are sweaty. As I was saying, I mean, the MT82 is really not that bad as long as you know how to drive. If I would have forced that and threw my clutch out, sure, I could have grenaded fifth gear just like that. But if you know how to drive your car and you kind of work your way up to making those shifts and power shifts where, I don't beat on the transmission every single opportunity I get, but I do get on her here and there. And yeah, of course, I'm a little bit scared of like breaking it, but that also means that I treat my stuff a little bit nicer than you would a rental car, because obviously you just would beat on that. I mean, it's not yours. You don't have to deal with the problems. I mean, I put in the Mantic clutch, and the reason why I put in that Mantic clutch is because it's a sprung hub design. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about it before, but it's basically got like springs, so that way whenever the two discs align, it's like a little spring that takes a little bit of that shock. And I literally can feel it whenever I downshift. Like my downshifts without even rev matching, like watch this. I just let out the clutch. Did you see my whole body shake or do anything like that? No. That's the Mantic clutch. It just took a lot of that shock out of it from a 56. And then obviously I have the MGW, which you guys could probably see, the shorter throws, which honestly is just a very direct feeling. Like, it is so solid where you know what gear you're in. And it's also, it takes a good amount of effort to get it into gear. It's not all grindy. You may see it kind of wiggle around if I give it some gas or something like that. I don't know if you can actually see that, but it is directly like connected to the transmission. There's nothing body mounted or no soft bushings. Like, this thing right here is a direct line to the transmission, so there's zero slop. And if the transmission and engine torque, then this torque's in your hand. And to make that even better is I have the Stita, or the white line transmission bushing insert, and I haven't had, like, people say there's noise, vibration, and harshness with it. Honestly, I haven't had that at all. Now, I also have the one-piece drive shaft, which was a hilarious purchase. I actually didn't even need that, but I'm glad I did. The one-piece drive shaft happened because I completely didn't even tighten down my torque nuts. Like, there was such a stupid thing. And why is this guy going so slow? No, dude, but you're going way too slow. In the drive shaft, before I did the clutch, I did the drive shaft, and that made a big difference. Everything just felt very direct and snappy. There was no slop in my drivetrain, which before, if you did a high RPM rev to first, like, you're leaving your neighborhood. I have this stop sign in my neighborhood that's like 200 feet from a corner, and so I just leave it in first and rev it up to 4,000 and then put in my clutch. And it used to, like, the stock drive shaft, it's a two-piece. It would go in there and go, and it would just make this clunking noise that sounded terrible. And my mom's car does it. That's all gone once I did this drive shaft. So I do think the drive shaft would be a huge upgrade for any car. And I don't have any vibrations or anything like that because I also did the BMR upper control arm to adjust the pinion angle, which pinion is like the angle from the diff to the transmission. And you got to make sure this is within a certain spec at your ride height, which ride height is for me because my bags go up and down. But if you have springs or whatever, then that's your ride height because you're static. And if I wanted to upgrade, there's the bin calipers for like 1,800 with the core included. So you could sell your good working condition for like 500 bucks after. So it's $1,300 versus, what is that, $5 all in? And yeah, I mean, there's also the gear ratios you have to work out, the speedo problems, all of those things that become more and more headaches and things that could go wrong in the future. However, if you're gonna build a full race car, go for it. But for me, as a street car that's gonna get maybe light track use, the bin caliper setup's perfect because it's an OEM transmission for this year and for this make and model. So I'm not gonna have to have all these weird, speedo boxes to correct the speedometer or check engine lights or, extra weird noises. Clutch and transmission, having the Mantic is what, $2,000 for the Mantic. The MGW is 500 bucks or 2,500. Drive shaft 700 bucks or 3,200. You do what else? Stainless steel lines and all that crap for like 100 bucks, so 3,300. And what else? The bushing was all like 30 bucks. Yeah, so maybe like 3,500 plus install, which all that stuff comes out at the same time. So if you're gonna do it all, save up and do all those parts installed at the same time because they got to come out anyways. So really, you're at $3,000 versus 5,500. And if you really wanted to, because I don't think you would, I mean, look at, it's just a 6. Stock MT82 with the Mantic and MGW. I don't even know if he has MGW actually, with a shifter. And he's doing 1,000 horsepower, 1.4 60 foots stick with that twin disc. And that's just a stock transmission without having the clutch and braided line, or without having the MGW braided line, Stita transmission bushing insert, all those things. And these cars are even lighter. So the S197 platform is even lighter than S550, and weight really does make a big factor, or has a big factor on how long it'll last whenever you're doing, crazy stuff like 1.4 60 foots in a stick. And the best thing about it is you can upgrade gradually. You can save those parts and you can do a lot of those things on your own, like the drive shaft on your own. Super easy, I did that on my own. There's the bushing insert, super easy on your own. Grease it up and slide it in with like some clamps. MGW, I did on my own. The really big one was the clutch, which that is the only thing I really would have paid for the install, and I did. I had to pay for it twice. And that was worth it because I did not want to deal with that clutch issue. I mean, it had some issues at first, which were fixed, but shout out to Steve at Paramount Speed. Steve, you're the man. knows everything about Mustangs. That's the beauty versus the T56 Magnum. You got to have all those parts to do it right then together. So you have to really wait to do all those parts versus gradually fixing all the small issues with the MT82. Those are just my thoughts on it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here, almost home. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you did, then please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.